Hello. Sweet.
Hello, I come to you on the eve, but the day directly after a terribly sad event. I was recording a good amount of progress on this piece behind me, and I recorded a whole video, and my SD card just corrupted. I couldn't recover the footage. Luckily, I could recover some of the other footage, but yeah, so that sucks. Now I'm currently recording on a micro SD card from my cell phone that I used to have. I only had movies and games on it and stuff, so hello. So today, we're pretty much gonna be hopping into this painting. I have no idea what it needs. I have really not much of a clue, but we're gonna be kind of exploring it together. And I'll talk through a couple of questions that I've been thinking about in the past couple of weeks. And kind of some stuff that's been going on in my life. I need a drink of water, and then I need to fill up this bucket. That shows you how spontaneous these things are, because, dude, this used to be the coffee table in my living room, but when we moved the couch out, we moved the coffee table out too, because it was no longer needed. Yeah, it kind of rules to like host all my stuff. I think this is the only angle you can see it from, because this is currently on the coffee table. I'll have to do a full studio walkthrough someday. So this piece I started, I think I painted the base gesso layer on the canvas there like 3 weeks ago now. No, not that long. 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. I don't know. It's been a while. I've been we're kind of in the land of ongoing projects at the moment. Usually prior to now, I had not been doing a lot of pieces that were very that really took a long time. But lately, I've been very much prioritizing discovery over anything else. And so I've just been kind of like painting longer than I think I would have previously, because previously I was kind of like, scared, because I really wanted to make like a good piece. Like a good piece, you know? And so I'd kind of get scared to push further at a certain time, even though I do get that feeling still, but I've been very much leaning into pushing past the point where I feel that and just seeing where things go. No real expectation. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just tracing the lines I've already done. Partially because it weaves the form into the texture of the piece, if that makes any sense. But more than that, because we're going to be doing some more colors on here, and these lines will be shadows. And if not shadows, they will, like I said, help weave everything into the piece. I think the focus of everything I've been doing in art lately has been figuring out how to weave things together. Somebody at my first solo show told me to study the people that you admire in art. I was gonna say that's what I like to do in my free time, but that would be kind of a lie, because in my free time I tend to play Starfield and chill and hang out with my family and my son. So, not that my son isn't my family, but I do like to try to digest stuff from other artists. I think I've talked about this in a previous video. That was a really important piece of advice that I received. Uh-oh. We're pulling an audible on the play. New piece. We got some on the back piece. Aha! I've been working on this piece for a long time and it's needed something. And I just haven't felt the urge to do anything with it. And just now, maybe through procrastination on making more progress on this piece, I felt the need to do some more on this piece. Productive procrastination. Productive. Okay. Now what needs to happen here? This needs that same color. I think that's why I had that. I'm getting heavy into the spray paint again. I try to wear a mask when I do it, but I'm not the best. And honestly, there's a part where I was using a lot of spray paint when I first started painting. And so there's just okay. You know what? I think I know what needs to happen. It's just been scaring me. I think we just need to take this all the way. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need to mix up some more paint too. Because this is hell yeah. This isn't quite the same color, but that's exactly what I like that. I'm gonna have to do some white though, because that's still I do have a deeper question I'd like to dive into a little bit later in this video, but I gotta get this onto the canvas really quick. Fuck it, we're mixing on the canvas. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's ugly as shit right now, but we're gonna do something with it, you know? Let's take a step back. That often helps. Okay, yeah, that's very ugly, but it is a evolution. It's an evolution, to be sure. That gives, well, this dries and everything, and I have to process what the fuck just happened. Let's talk about a deeper question that I saw in my comments. I think 2 videos ago now. And it was, why do you make these videos? And that isn't... I went to respond and I just I realized that the question was much deeper than any answer that I'd be able to write out in the comments. Because if you're being, if I look at that question, honestly, I go, why am I making these videos? And the truth is that there's no, I think if you had to distill it down into one single thing. So I view that art as kind of this source thing. And how you express it is just different, in different ways. And I think that's pretty common. The medium is how it's expressed, and the art is sort of a core thing that pretty much anybody who does it is working with, if that makes sense. This is hard. I have a perspective and I want to share that perspective, and certain things I can do with words more accurately, and certain things I can do with paint more accurately. And for the things that I cannot express in paint, doing these videos helps me express that directly. Because there's a certain it came out of, initially I started I out of nowhere went through super intense physical burnout, and I was getting really bad sensory symptoms, and I had to be in a dark room all the time, and I was bordering on seizures. And so I couldn't sit in front of a TV screen or a computer screen because it was just way too intense for me. But I still was painting, and I was as I was dealing with this, I was kind of learning a lot about myself. And so there was a part where it was well, I'm going through a lot right now. Let me just talk about it. That'd be cathartic. I just couldn't sit in front of a computer monitor for very long. So the editing had to be super minimal. And before I was making, I mean, you can go back and look at the videos I was making before like March, and you'll see the difference. There's much more editing. It's much more like, much more involved on my part. In the sense of like after, like work afterwards. Whereas then I started talking like this and then I just really like doing it. So I kept doing it. There's also like the matter of it did like well relative to the other videos on my channel at the time. And so that like, it was less of like trying to be like kind of stick myself into one category and be, like hammering on something, and more of like, I realized that I am putting in less like effort on the fluff and like trying to make things look perfect and make everything like awesome and make the perfect video or whatever. Like I stopped trying to do that, and I just started trying to like talk about what was honest and not do crazy like amounts of editing and stuff like that. Well, maybe the answer here is not keeping on trying to make the most perfect video with the best packaging and the most beautiful thumbnails and all of these things. And maybe it's more about making something that is honest. And when you do that, maybe somebody can relate to that. And maybe that helps them out like a tiny, 0.01%. And that's much more effective than just like sitting and trying to make the perfect like promo film for my art, because that's kind of what they were. And I'd occasionally like dabble in talking about different topics, but like in kind of more of like a polished and like not professional, but more of like so that's a very long-winded way to say that I make videos because it's part of the art form, and also I like to do it. And I make these videos specifically because it aligns most with my perspective on art, which is that for me personally, I like get out truth in whatever I'm doing first, and then do minimal edits to that to make it palatable, like as few as possible. Because I think the more that I edit it, like it's like a Tony Hawk grind scale. On one side, you have like over polish, no feel. Then on the other side, you have all feel, no polish. And if you hit either side, you fall off the rail. And so you gotta find, and I like to kind of lean towards the side of not a lot of polish. But I'm learning how to make the polish itself kind of part of like that truth. And so I think it doesn't necessarily have to be like just that binary scale. I think there's a different way to look at it too. I kind of like the additions to that piece over there that we did with the spray paint. I've been working on that for a long time. There's a couple pieces that I've been working on. I feel like I'm learning so much right now in a weird way. Like I'm not really doing any specific studying of any specific artists or anything like that, but I am doing a lot of experimenting, and I'm learning a lot about my style, and I'm becoming more confident in things that I had started practicing months ago. I still have no realism skills. I'm not very, for what I've been practicing, I have been developing more of an understanding of that, which has allowed me to be a little bit more free in experimenting with other things. So it's been holy shit, that thing's like, oh my lord, I'm gonna have to do so much to recover that. And not even to recover it, just to keep pushing forward. See, the mindset of like trying to make the perfect piece keeps sneaking in. It's funny, like I was just thinking about how like, I feel like something about this has to do. It was like, yeah, but I'm not really doing that. And then I looked at that, and then I had that thought, and then I was like, oh wait, there it is. That was weird. That was like something springing to life in real time. It's funny, like I have not, in a lot of previous videos, I would finish a piece in a video, or I would start and then I would add stuff in the end. But now like the projects are going on weeks upon weeks. And so it's less to show all of it in one video. Less possible. A weird term. It's either possible or not possible. So I would say that it is not possible to show it in one film or in one video when I make them once per week, roughly. This one I think is going to be 8 to 9 days from the last video when I release it. But it'll be coming out. It's funny, today so my son's first birthday is coming up, and my mom sent him a gift of the Little Engine That Could, the book, you know? And I like looked at that book for a second. I didn't even read it. It was still in the wrapper and everything. And it's just very funny. Like, it's a literal children's tale. And I'm like, if that engine, he definitely could. It wasn't that intense, but you know what I'm saying. Everybody want to be an artist, but don't nobody want to cry about a children's story. Ronnie Coleman. Jeepers Creepers, my friends. Oh my gosh. Okay, so again, this is the piece from last week. It might be done now. I'm gonna have to sit with it for another few days to determine if that's true or not, but it might be. This was an edit of another one. Does this feel wet? That's concerning. Anyways, this is the other piece that I completed in the past week or so. Yeah, in the past week. This was I had already done the colors underneath, but I did the lines and the line work in the background, blacking out this week. Black ink works really well for that. If you can't tell, a recent trend in my work has been using a lot of black as the background, and trying that. I've done that in the past, and I did like it, but I think I was less comfortable with painting when I did that, and I didn't really get the most out of it. But now I'm trying to revisit a little bit now that I haven't even looked at this camera all video. Sorry. So I had been, like I mentioned that in one of my previous videos, that I was struggling a lot with sensory stuff because I wasn't really exposing myself to it as much or as much as I needed to, because I've just been like very much locked into my art for like the past, I'll leave the house once every couple of months or whatever. And so then, you know, that's not good for a person. So I started going to a group, and I thought I was going to really not enjoy it, but I ended up really enjoying it, even though it was like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Socially, that ruled. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, because like it was a really good thing that came out of like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I was really expecting I was like, I'm doing this because it's something that is probably good for me and it'll add to my art somehow, like just interacting with other people, and ended up actually being genuinely enjoyable. So stepping outside of your comfort zone does indeed lead to enjoyable results sometimes. Anyways, I think that we're all good. I very much enjoyed my group this week. It came from stepping outside of my comfort zone. So if there's anything that you are potentially considering not doing because it's outside of your comfort zone, I would encourage you to rethink that. But the decision is ultimately up to you, because every situation is different. That said, I have very much appreciated you coming and hanging out with me today. I hope you like this mess of a painting that is in progress behind me, and maybe next week we will work on finishing it. Either way, I very much appreciate you. I hope to see you again next week, and yeah, have a wonderful week.